As he drank from his canteen, he looked up at the sky. A cloud had appeared earlier in the day. It was the first cloud he could remember seeing since coming to Camp Green Lake. He and the other boys had been watching it all day, hoping it would move in front of the sun. Occasionally, it got close, but it was just teasing them. His hole was waist deep. He dug his shovel into the dirt, and he dumped it out. He thought he saw something glisten as it fell into the dirt pile. Whatever it was quickly buried. Stanley stared at the pile a moment, unsure if he had even seen it. Even if it was something, what good would it do him? He would promise to give anything he found to X-Ray. It didn't seem worth the effort to climb out of the hole and check it out. He glanced at the cloud, which was close enough to the sun that he had to squint to look at it. He dug his shovel back into the earth, scooped out some dirt, and lifted it over his dirt pile. But instead of dumping it there, he tossed it off to the side. His curiosity had gotten the better of him. He climbed up out of his hole and shoved his fingers through the pile. He felt something hard and metally. He put it out. It was gold tube, about as long and wide as the second finger on the right hand. The tube was open at one and closed at the other. He used a few drops of his precious water to clean it. There seemed to be some kind of design on the flat, closed end. He poured a few more drops of water and rubbed it on the inside of pants pocket. He looked again at the design engraved into the flat bottom of the tube. He could see an outline of a heart with the letter KB etched inside it. He tried to figure out some way that he wouldn't have to give it to the X-ray. He could just skip it, but that wouldn't do him any good. He wanted a day off. He looked at the large piles of the dirt near where X-ray was digging. X-ray was probably almost finished for the day. Getting the rest of the day off would hardly do him much good. X-ray would first have to show the tube to Mr. Sir or Mr. Pandersky, who would then have to show it to the warden. By then, X-ray might be done anyway. Stanley wondered about trying to secretly take the tube directly to the warden. He could explain the situation to the warden, and the warden might make up some excuse for giving him the day off, so X-ray wouldn't suspect. He looked across the lake toward the cabin under the 2 oak trees. The place scared him. He had been at Camp Green Lake almost 2 weeks, and he still hadn't seen the warden. That was just as well. If he could go his entire year and half without seeing the warden, that would be fine with him. Besides, he didn't know if the warden would find the tube interesting. He looked at it again. It looked familiar. He thought he had seen something like it somewhere before, but couldn't quite place. "What you got there, caveman?" asked the zigzag. Stanley's large hand closed around the tube. "Nothing. Just, it was useless. I think I might have found something." "Another fossil?" "No, I'm not sure what it is." "Let me see," said Zigzag. Instead of showing to the Zigzag, Stanley brought it to X-ray. Zigzag followed. X-ray looked at the tube, then rubbed his dirty glasses on the dirty shirt and looked at the tube again. One by one, the other boys dropped their shovels and came to look. "It looks like an old shotgun shell," said Squid. "Yeah, that's probably what it is," said Stanley. He decided not to mention the engraved design. Maybe nobody would notice it. He doubted X-ray could see it. "No, it's too long and thin to be shotgun shell," said Magnet. "It's probably just a piece of junk," said Stanley. Well, I will show it to Mom, said X-Ray. See what he thinks. Who knows, maybe I will get the day off. Your hole is almost finished, said Stanley. Yeah, so? Stanley raised and lowered his shoulder. So, why don't you wait until tomorrow to show it to Mom? He suggested. You can pretend you found it first thing in the morning. Then you can get the whole day off instead of just an hour or so this afternoon.